Chachamim l'kriyas shema. B'shacher shtayim lefaneh v'achas l'chareh. There were 7 birchas that Chachamim were mataken connected to kriyas shema. We're going to learn about this soon. But the Rashba asks a question. The Rashba asks, birchas kriyas shema, how is that a bracha for shema? If it's a bracha for shema, you should say, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvos v'tzivonu al tzfiras ha'omer. You count the omer. Asher kiddushanu mitzvos v'tzivonu al achilas matzah. You eat the matzah. You should say, Asher kiddushanu mitzvos v'tzivonu al mitzvos kriyas shema. You should say shema. What kind of connection is it to a long bracha, 7 long brachas? The main point, if it's birchas kriyas shema, we should say simple. Baruch, it would have been a much shorter davening, wouldn't it? We would save a nice couple of minutes in davening. We just we'd say Baruch, and then we'd say Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvos v'tzivonu al mitzvos kriyas shema. And that's the question that Rashba asks about the whole birchas kriyas shema. And it's unusual in Tanya that the Alter Rebbe mentions a Gemara or a Rishon by name, but in Perek Mem Tes and Tanya, the Alter Rebbe brings this question from the Rashba. The Alter Rebbe answers the question of the Rashba. Now, in this Perek, the Alter Rebbe answers it in one way, other Maimorim slightly differently, but all goes to the same thing. Birchas kriyas shema is to get into the mode of kriyas shema. It's the Iyun of kriyas shema. The whole idea of kriyas shema is to love Hashem. You can't jump into love. Love, it doesn't happen in a second. Turn on a switch. In a yid, to have Avas Hashem, you have to get into the mode of Avas Hashem. How does a yid get into the mode of Avas Hashem? So this is where Chazal gave us 7 brachas, and mainly, I would say the brachas before Shema, the 2 brachas in the morning and at night, the 2 brachas, get us into the mood of kriyas shema. And the Alter Rebbe goes into a long thing explaining that in the morning, the first thing is to talk about how the angels see the greatness of the Eibishter, and the Eibishter is removed. It's Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. It's removed from them, and they're going crazy to get close to the Eibishter. But who really could get close to the Ribono Shel Olam? The Yidden. The Yidden could get close to the Ribono Shel Olam. It's a local call, not long distance. In the ganze Welt, they're calling to the Ribono Shel Olam, it's a long distance. By Yidden, it's a local call. And then there's a second bracha. Second bracha is even stronger than the first bracha, talking about how much the Eibishter loves us. And the Gemara tells a story in Baba Metzia about certain Amoraim who were husky, big, very big. The Gemara describes different Amoraim, Rabbi Yochanan, Shlokish, that when they would meet, so their stomachs would touch each other, and between their legs, under their stomachs and between their legs, there was so much space that maybe 3 goats can pass by, or 4 goats can pass by, or 8 goats can pass by. So there was a Matronisa Achas, one of the royal aristocrat families in Rome. So the woman said to Rabbi Yochanan, your children don't belong to you. It is impossible that you actually have the ability to sleep with your wife. So Rabbi Yochanan said, no, that's not true. Ahava doichekes es habosor. That when a person is full of love, that pushes away the flesh. In other words, that he said that he is so in love with his wife that it doesn't matter how fat he is. He could have intimacy with his wife. Don't worry. So Chassidus sagt, "Ava doichekes es habosor." When we have Avos Hashem, it pushes away all the basar. Alaska Toiva to the Oilam to put yourself please on mute. Give it back to me. Yes, please put yourself on mute until the end when you have a shaila. It pushes away the chumrius, the coarseness of a human being when he does ava the Eibishter. And in the bracha, we're talking about the ava of the Eibishter to us. That the ava from the Eibishter to us is so immense that even though we are human beings and we're the lowest of the low, but because of the great ava today of the Eibishter to Yidden, and the type of ava which is called bechira, which we'll talk about when we get to that bracha, which is the Jewish body, more than the Jewish soul. The mile of the Jewish body, that the Eibishter picks the Jewish body, and because of this immense love, the Eibishter reveals himself to a Yid. And when a Yid really feels this, feels how the angels are jumping and they can't find the Eibishter and they could never find satisfaction, but the Yid could find the Eibishter. And the Eibishter is vonim b'charta mikol hamaloshen ava doichekes, that the unbelievable love of the Eibishter pushes away all limitations and all symptom. So the Yid feels, I want to come to close to the Eibishter as well. If someone loves you, you love them back. If they're interested in you, you're interested in them. Wow. So therefore, the birchas krishma is not like the typical bracha. Asher kishonim mitzvos v'tzivona al tzvidas hayom, asher kishonim mitzvos v'tzivona al achilas matzah lekvoya mezuzah, and so on. Lo niach tefillin al mitzvos tzitzis. This bracha is to get us into the inyan of krishma, and understanding this will be quite relevant. Also in a halacha level. And it'll be even more relevant when we will get to the second part of the shiur today, when we will talk about the whole thing of the first brachas of kriyas. Let's start again. Siman nun tes the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch din bracha rishona beyoytzer Rabbi vav sifim sif alav sheva brachas tikun chamal kriyas v'shachar shtam lefnei v'achas lechera. There were 7 brachas a Chazal made around Shema. In the morning you say 2 in front and 1 after. Be'erev at night shtam lefnei shtam lechera, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Some chois al posach sheva yemim al tichal mishpatei tzedkecha, which is in this year it's kapitel kuf yutes. It's a capital that I'm going to praise you 7 times, 7 things. Sheva bayoim, 7 praises every day. So they said that around the Shema there should be 7 praises, 7 bracha. That's the way we start the first bracha. In the morning we thank Hashem for the light, but we say why mention the darkness? Because there was in general by Goyim, and there was a religion in Persia. We spoke about this once, about in the 4th or 5th century, that to reconcile what was going on in the world, they came up with this thing that there is the 2 gods, the God of the good and the God of the bad. All the good comes from the God of the good, and all the bad comes from the God of the bad. So there's the God of the light and the God of the darkness, Rachmana litzlan. So when we thank Hashem in the morning for the light, we also mention that the same God that made the light made the darkness. If a person made a mistake, you know what they say, I mentioned this the other day, that we say some people they have to travel with carriages, and some people they travel with horses. We put on talas atil, and b'shem l'keinu naske we start davening. We're in China, we're in Wuhan, we're in India, we're in Delhi, we're in Israel. We it's like going in an air balloon around the globe. So what happens when a person is not thinking? It's lightless, it's day, it's night, he's not sure, he's flying over so many zones, time zones. So accidentally, instead of starting the bracha For the morning, he started the bracha for the night. He started to say the maidev instead of shachris. Niskam, yeah, they remembered immediately. Yotza, he's yoitza. He's yoitza. So you need to have two miles. That he started the bracha right. If you missed a few words here and there, that's fine. I mean, this is very much connected to the Gemara, the last Gemara that we learned right before Pesach, and connected with the theme that we had in the Shabbos Hagodol Drosha. If he started saying the wrong brach, he said and didn't immediately correct himself, even though he later said it's not the beginning of the bracha was not correct. You need to have that the beginning and the end of the bracha is correct, not the way it sounds in the simple words of the Gemara. Everything goes to the end, and that's really the way the Gra paskins. We spoke about that. But the Alter Rebbe holds the way the classical shittas and the Tur and the Shulchan Aruch, at least he paskins that way, and that it has to be tarti l'tivus. You have to have two milas, that you started the bracha right and you finished the bracha right. If you said the maidev and shachris, that's fine, but you have to say also the nusach of shachris. And the Alter Rebbe adds in the brackets an explanation. If you didn't start it right, so even if you finish the bracha right, but you didn't make a bracha. The bracha is on the creation of light, and you started shebidvorim arevarovim. So okay, but you finished the bracha right. But which bracha did you say? What's the bracha here? If immediately after he said he said Yotzero, tikkun to, so he corrected the mistake, and he made the bracha on the light. If it's the other way around, the same thing. He started in the morning and he said shachris and the ma'id of nusach together. But the other way, he said first the shachris nusach. Afilu atzima bracha v'chasam b'yoytza ma'id yotza is also yotza. Either way, if you started the bracha in the morning and you mentioned shachris and ma'id, or ma'id and shachris, you said and then you said yotzer, or you said yotzer and the shem b'dvarim. Bottom line is, you started the bracha and you mentioned Yotzer. You're thanking Hashem for creating the light, for creating the sun that just came up in the sky and shines and lights up the world. And then you correct, and then you said at the end Yotzer Amoydes. Yotzer, the beginning and the end, the bracha was correct. Even though in the middle he changed from what Chacham said. Yotzer b'diavad. Since he already did it, he's yoytza. You should do exactly the way Chum told you to do it. But accidentally, you did differently. It's fine, as long as the beginning and the end of the bracha is correct. If he could finish the bracha with Mari Verovim, if it was the other way around, he started right, but he finished wrong. The beginning and the end of the bracha must be correct, and even if he already did it, we don't say, "Oh, I did it already." No, he has to re-say the bracha. So, according to the Alter Rebbe paskins way, the Shulchan Aruch paskins, the Tur paskins, the classical Rishonim paskin, that you need tarti l'tivusa. You need to have two milas. You have to start the bracha right, and you have to finish it right. And if you mention the other thing that in the beginning of the bracha, it's fine. In the morning or at night, you mention the other thing. In the morning, together with Yotzer Berachosheach, you said Ashabidvarim Araverovim. If you said the Ashabidvarim Araverovim first or second, doesn't matter. As long as you mentioned Yotzer in the beginning and you said Baruch Ta Hashem Yotzer Ma'oris, you're Yotzer. Chamakim Shlo Yotzer. If you were not Yotzer, if you remember immediately, you should go back to Baruch Hashem Yotzer Baruch Hashem. But if you already finished the Baruch of Avas Olam, then you should just say Shema, and then after you finish Shmona Esrei, then you should go back to the first bracha to say that. It's not b'di'amakev, as we'll say later, and we already explained in the introduction that birchas krishma are not like Asher Kedushanim says al achilas matzah. He finished the matzah. There's no matzah on the table. He can't make the bracha anymore. He already put on tefillin. He took off his tefillin. He put away his tefillin. He can't make the bracha now. But here, the bracha of Shema is different. It's not really the bracha is not like a regular birchas and mitzvahs. It's in order to strengthen the idea of the Avos Hashem. So listen, if he didn't manage to do it before Shema, he'll do it later, after Shema, after Shema. Okay, I think we could still squeeze in another sif here. Yesh Omrim sif base. Yesh Omrim shekedusha should be yotze yochid la The interesting thing I want to point out is that Rebbe Zayda brings in a sefer, the sefer Shara Koilo. He says that there's 3 types of kedusha. There's kedusha of Yotzer Barachoshach Kodesh Kodesh. That's called kedusha di yeshiva, which I'll be the mekubalim. You're supposed to sit when you say birchas krishma, but you're not supposed to sit down right before you say Kodesh Kodesh, because that's not kovedik to the Eibishter. But you're supposed to think about it that sit down before you begin the bracha, or as you begin the bracha. That's kedusha di yeshiva, and then in Shemona Esrei, the main kedusha is called kedusha da amida, because you have to stand then. And then in Volotzion it's called kedusha de sidura. Again, kedusha di yeshiva, kedusha da amida, and kedusha de sidura. So let's continue here and see if base. Kedusha should be yotze yochel yochel amra. That the kedusha when yotzer you don't need a minion for that. A single person could say it. Over there, we're saying we will sanctify you, and in order to be sanctified, a davish kedusha has to be basar and ikdashti betoich b'nei Yisrael has to be with a minion of Yidden. Otherwise, you can't say kedusha. Vein asher lahakdash v'pasach es matzor av kedusha sheyotze she'eino magdish moisel maskid magdusha she'omrim lo meshartzav muta b'yachid. But in the kedusha of Yotzer, we are not sanctifying him. We're telling a story about how his story. We're telling a story about the angels. It's a story of how the angels say Kodesh. We're reading psukim about what Yecheskel saw, how the angels act, but we're not talking about our own kedusha. So therefore, you don't need a minion in order to say this kedusha. The other opinion is sheni yochid. Omer like kedusha yoytzer, like kedusha zavalatzin, elk shmagi like kedusha shmiyotzer. Yomer v'omrim b'yira kodesh v'efanim v'omrim baruch. That you're not allowed to say it unless there is a mamash minion. Unless there is mamash minion. And if you're not saying with a minion, you say you don't say kodesh kodesh. You say baruch. You don't finish your sentence. You don't finish. And same thing, Kodesh, Kodesh. Kodesh. But that you don't say any further. The way out, in order to satisfy all opinions, is to say it with the nigun, as if you're reading the Torah. We could say the nigun of the Torah, the nigun of the Torah, probably. I mean, it's from Yecheskel, so you would say with the nigun of the Torah. And then you don't need a minion. Similar to the Eitzah that we spoke about the other day in the Kaf HaChaim, when a person doesn't have a minion to say Hashem Hashem Kil Rachem V'Chanam. Avala minik is for the Shana. The minik is like the first opinion. Lepoil, we see a lot of people that are makbid to say it with the Chazan. I have not seen in Chabad, for example, on Volotzion, that there should be a hakpoda to the Chazan should say it loud and everyone should say it together, Kodesh, Kodesh. So it must be that the Minik Chabad is even though there's so many Rishonim that hold like the second opinion, but L'Poel, the Minik Chabad is like the first. You could also add to it and say another thing, which I don't think fully explains the Chabad Minik, but it's true. The whole, and since the main thing of the Tefillah is Kavana, so So perhaps that's why they're not so choshish to stop and try to say it with the minyan. Still, I mean, it wouldn't explain so much why in Volotzian. I mean, you see in the average in the Welt that they're makbid by Volotzian to say, to wait for the chazan. He says it loud, and everyone says Kaddish Kaddish together. And the same thing with Baruch. Huh? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. So, like I said, the main reason probably is they push them on like the first shitta that this is not, we're not being Mekadosh de Eibishter right now. We're just telling a story about what the Malachim are doing, and through that we are being inspired because we're hearing the story of the Malachim, and the Cheskel is telling us the story of the Malachim. But it's not that when we're saying Kedusha Taka, we stand up and we say Basora, and I think that's the main reason. But as I said, there's another thing which is Pasha to because the main thing is in Tefillah is to have the kavanah. Shenim kedusha zo betzibi yesh lanos b'kol rom. Yesh lamer as a miyushav. Lo yeshe yeshev yimu oimed. Ela shema yeshev ein lo ilamed b'kedusha zo kabay la kedusha b'tefillah. That there's an Indian apikabala to say it while you're sitting, but not when right away when they say kodesh kodesh. Oh, it doesn't sit. You sit down. That's a birchas kovet klape maila. It's not kovet to the Eibishter. When you start talking about the Eibishter's kedusha, you sit down. But apikabala it should be done while you're sitting, and then Bashmanasa, that's called, that's what this is called Kedusha the Yeshiva, and that's called Kedusha the Amida. Okay, let's see. It's 9 o'clock. So let's stop at this point. Let's stop. So we did Sif Aleph and Beis, and Mitzvah Shem. Hopefully we'll finish the Sim next week. And let's go over to learning the Pirush Hamilos. Let's going over to doing some of the Pirush Hamilos and davening. As I said before, this is something I was doing in the summer with the women, and we'll send it out as a separate clip, the Tefillah part. Unfortunately, this summer, as of now, we're not having the shiurim in shul and Shabbos. So usually before Mincha, I'd give a half hour, 45-minute shiur, or an hour shiur for women in Tefillah. So we will, Mitzvah Shem, send out the video of this, the recording of this, and again, your Shekoyach Rabbi for this. So, well, we're going to focus now on birchas krishma, since we're learning the Shulchan Aruch, birchas krishma and krishma. We will also do the Pirush Hamilos of the davening of birchas krishma and krishma. So if you have a siddur, otherwise if you have the copies that we sent out, right after Baruch, as we start saying the first bracha. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the shiur, this shiur today is being said, and we're learning in memory of Gershon Meir ben Mordechai. Gershon Meir ben Mordechai was a good friend. Many of you remember him. He's the father-in-law of David Stoltzman, the father of Mrs. Stoltzman. He used to come around the shul, and he was Molei Chayis. He was a very simchadik person. And today is his first yahrzeit. He should have a lichtik Gan Eden. He should be a Meilitz Yosher. So we're dedicating tonight's shiur in his memory. Again, the memory of Gershon Meir ben Mordechai.
Amen.
Okay, let's start. We're going to do.
Could I just mention that somebody passed away and Levi was today? So if we could just mention his name,
Okay.
that would be. Let me just get it. Chaim. Hold on. I have it right.
You say it at the end of the shiur. Baruch Ato Hashem,
Sure.
Elokeinu Melech Haolam. Like every bracha, which bracha has to be with shemu malchus. Every bracha has to be with shemu malchus. So this bracha also starts with shemu malchus. Later, as you will see, it finishes without shemu malchus because that's the choo-choo train effect. Since we already mentioned shemu malchus, and this is bracha smuch l'chavata, so we don't have to mention it again. But every bracha has to start with saying that it's not enough to say that the Eibishter is Hashem Elokeinu, but we have to declare that it's not only Hashem Elokeinu, it's Melech Olam, he's the king, and he runs the entire world, Bashkocha Pratis, in every moment. Yoitzer Oyer, Uvoide Choshech, he creates light and darkness. Oisa Shalom, he makes peace. Uvoide Esakoil, he creates everything. This is really a Loshen, a Pasuk in Yeshaya, but it's a little bit of a Shinui Loshen. In the Pasuk it says, Yoitzer Oyer, Choshech, Oisa Shalom, Uvoide Ra. But we don't want to say that expression. The good and the bad is the same with the The dark and the light is the same with the Shalom. Not like those, as we mentioned in the introduction to the halacha here today, that those goyim that thought that there was a battle between the God of the good and the God of the bad, the God of the light and the God of the darkness. It's the same with the Shalom. The Eibishter is not only that, is Oyser Shalom. In opposites, there couldn't be a bigger opposites than day and night, good and bad. The Eibishter says, I make peace between the opposites. When there's a revelation of the Eibishter, the opposites coincide and they mesh together. And therefore, the Pasuk says that even what seems to be the opposite of good, I create it. And that's why Chazal want to explain the Pasuk. Everything is created by the Eibush.
Why by Or is Yoitzer and by Choshech is Boire? And also, why don't we start the opposite? Yoitzer night, first night, and then.
Very good. Okay, so this is Shailas Chochem, and this is really what I want to focus today. It's a beautiful mimer, and the first mimer in the Alter Rebbe in Likutei Torah and Shir Hashirim. So the question that Shmulik asks is simple. First of all, what's this Yoitzer and Boire? You can say Yoitzer Oyer v'Yoitzer Choshech, Boire Oyer, Boire Choshech. So we understand that that there's four Oilamos. The Eibishter created the world, this world, in a way of cause and effect, in a chain effect, in a domino effect. First, he created this world through Atzilus, the world of Atzilus, and then from that came out the world of Bria, and then came the world of Yetzirah, and then came the world of Asiya. So you would expect, first we should talk about Bria, which is the higher world. Then we should talk about Yetzirah, which is the lower world. The higher world should be associated with oil, with light. The lower world should be dark. But everything here is Moshe Kapoyer. Everything is the other way around. I'm sorry, I don't have the fancy blackboard and whiteboard, so we'll try to do it with the regular paper. And I see it's not really working. Okay, well, what can we do? Well, let's try again. Tzilus, Bria, then there is Yetzirah, and then the last world is Asiya. So where do you have Oyer and where do you have Choshech here? So it's remarkable that Bria, the higher world, is called Choshech, and the lower world is called Oyer. And also when we touch our tefillin, we say Yoitzer Oyer, when we touch the tefillin Shel Yad, Uboire Choshech, we touch the tefillin Shel Rosh, and then we kiss it. Why is it the other way around? Why is it that the holier tefillin, which is the Shel Rosh, is Choshech, and the tefillin Shel Yad is Oyer? There was a story, I actually once told the story. It's an unbelievable story. Story with the Alter Rebbe. The story is not negated to all the details, but just that I want to bring out a mashal here to understand what the Alter Rebbe is going to say. This was a story that the Alter Rebbe had a chassid. He was a malamed. At that time, as we know, the Alter Rebbe, the Baal Shem Tov, wanted that the Yidden should live on the soil. They should live in the land. The cities were too crowded. There wasn't enough, in their opinion. There wasn't a good business opportunity. They felt it wasn't good for the Jews to sit in the big cities. They should move out in the land. They should have a farm. They should go fishing. They should work on the land, and that would be a good parnasa. That would also the Yidden are like sitting in like lame ducks sitting in a city, and you have the goyim around them. They're like in the ghetto. The Alter Rebbe gave every penny that he got from his father-in-law, So before he got married, he said the condition he's getting married, he was getting a large dowry, that his father-in-law will not give him any advice or any opinions of how he uses his dowry. Now, his father-in-law didn't chap what that meant. Really, so what that meant was that the day after the marriage, the Alter Rebbe took every nickel and every dime he got from his father-in-law, which was a large amount of money, and he was able to find 150 Jewish families. He bought them parcels of land so they could move out to the countryside. They could live there and raise their families outside the city. So, but you don't have a school. Today you have an online school, but they didn't have the online school back then. So what do? So a lot of these families they were compared to the families living in the cities were wealthier. They developed the land and they started to have produce and they sold and it got better and better. And Baruch Hashem, they had parnasa. So they would hire a Talmud Chochem, a Malamed, to come live in their house for 4 months, to say in the winter, or 4 months in the summer, or 5 months or 5 months. And they would pay them quite well. So the teacher in the city would get paid whatever, would get paid a ruble a week. And they would say, you come live in our house, we'll pay you 2 rubles a week, pay you double. So it was a trade-off. Unfortunately, these families needed money. So instead of living with the family, wife and children, he would go out to where they were called the yeshuvniks, to these places far out and on the land, and they would live in their house or have their own little hut on the side, and they would teach their children. So there was a Chassid Alter Rebbe that lived by a yeshuvnik, a very simple man, but he wanted to raise his children Torah mitzvahs, and he paid really well for the Malamed. It comes at the end of Elul, the Malamed is going home. He says, Rabbi, why don't you stay with us? I'd love if you stay with us. We're at Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, have the Jews that come from all around, from all the other farms. We make a minyan. You could blow shofar, you could be the rabbi, you could give the dorasha, you could lay in the Torah, you could do everything, and we could do nothing. The Malamed said, I would love to do it, but I have to go to my Rabbi. I have to recharge my own batteries. I have to go to... What? You have a Rabbi? You are the Rabbi. What do you mean you have a Rabbi? You are the Rabbi. You're everything. Malamed said, look, I understand that I'm flattered. Thank you very much that you consider me the Rebbe. But, there is such a thing as a Rosh B'nai Yisrael, a neshama, which is the heart and the soul of all the Jewish people, teaching Torah to Klal Yisrael. When you come into his daladamas, to you're around him, your neshama is like a recharging the batteries. Rejuvenate. Interesting. Then there, rejuvenate, recharge, a big neshama, a Rebbe. He says, can I come too? Malamed says, sure. Malamed is thinking here, he's trying to save a couple of rubles. He's not planning to hire a coach and go all the way to Liozna. He's going to walk. He's going to get a ride here, there. Now this rich man, is going to go coach first class. Door to door, Yeshavach Masecha. He's going to go door to door from right here, with the Yeshuvnik's house. It comes straight to Liozna. Great. Okay. So they're come to Liozna, and the Chassidim are dancing, and it's a different avenue. I've never seen something like this. And this Malamed was a Yiddah Talmud Chochem, and people come over and say Shalom Aleichem, and they hug him and embrace him. And this guy is starting to feel uncomfortable. What's going on over here? And people are waiting in line. The other side, they're singing and dancing. Yeah, what's going on? They say the people are waiting in line to meet the Alter. Okay, people on one line. He's also waiting in line. Who knows? Maybe they're giving the stimulus package. Maybe they're giving out checks now for $10,000 or so. Who knows? So he gets online. He doesn't know what's the line. He doesn't know what's going and what's coming. But he sees that the Malamed is ahead of him on the line. When he comes to the Alter Rebbe's room, and the Alter Rebbe on this table, there's 2 candles, and there's it's Kulei Oime Kodesh. He comes in and he's looking. He doesn't know what to do. He's standing. He looks at the Alter Rebbe, and the Alter Rebbe looks up at him and says, "Nu." So he says, Rebbe, was nukatir? Rebbe, what are you saying new? So the Alter Rebbe says, new. I'll explain to you what I'm saying new. It happens that a Yid is living far from all the other Yidden, and he doesn't realize that when the sun sets, it's Shabbos, you can't do any more malacha. And new, he made a mistake. And a Yid doesn't realize sometimes that he said, Alter Rebbe goes through every one of this person's sins. He's reading him like a book. This guy got so angry. How does the Alter Rebbe know all my sins? He walks out the Alter Rebbe's room. He slams the door. He runs. The Chassidim are trying to dance with him, but he doesn't want to dance. The Mochla Yechidus, he's looking for his Malamed. He tells him, Malamed, you crazy? You came here. You schlepped me here, so you can go tell your Rebbe all the dirt. He gave him all the dirt on me. You're fired. Malamed said, Chas v'sholom. Said Lashon Hara, I would say dirt on you. He said, yeah, the Alter Rebbe told me every one of my sins. He said, I didn't tell him a thing. Oh, no. I don't believe it. The Malamed was a problem for the Malamed. So he grabbed this Yeshuvnik by the hand and he ran back to the door of the Alter Rebbe. Someone just came out and he went in. The Alter Rebbe looks at the Yeshuvnik. He said, Chas v'sholom, the Malamed didn't say anything to me, and I didn't say you did anything. I just said what it's possible that sometimes a Yid could be lax and this and that. But the Rebbe, he said, but I really did those things. Did he really not tell you? The Alter Rebbe said, no, he didn't tell me. So he started to cry. He said, but Rebbe, really, I need to do tshuva. So the Alter Rebbe said, fine, stay here. I'll tell you what to do in order to do tshuva. The Malamed left. And even though he was a simple person, he became a very devout chassid of the Alter Rebbe and a supporter of the Alter Rebbe's causes. I went off a little on a tangent in the story, but just to bring out, when you have a Ish Poshut that says, what? My Rebbe has a Rebbe? So think about this for a moment. There is a Rosh Yeshiva. He's a Rosh Yeshiva. He has 500 students. They come to shiur kloli. Then he comes to 770. He comes to the Rebbe. When he's standing in front of the students, he's saying a shiur, and it's fire. The walls are shaking in the Beis HaMedrash. He's standing with a cup of kosher bracha, with a plastic little cup in front of the Rebbe. Zog der Rambam! No. That's not the way he walks over to the Rebbe. Yeah. Like this, quietly. So when he's standing in front of his yeshiva, he's full of light. When he's standing in front of his Rebbe, he's quiet. The opposite of light. But where is he really recharging? Where is he really recharging? For this Rosh Yeshiva himself, when he's emanating full of light, where is he in a better place? Or when he's in a place of dark, quiet, he's standing in front of his Rebbe. Where is his kedusha more intense? Where is he feeling it more? Obviously, when he's standing in front of his Rebbe. The Olam Abriya comes right after Atzilus. Atzilus is Etzlei v'Samach. It's close. The word Atzilus means Etzlei. It's close to the Eibishter. We know that the Alter Rebbe, when he would write, he couldn't finish writing the word Atzilus. He would write Aleph Tzadik Yud, and he couldn't continue writing it. He felt what Atzilus was. He could not finish the word Atzilus. Etzlei, close to the Eibishter. The Ramban says that we're in the beginning of Parshas Bereshis. Says the Ramban, where does it start, the concept of Bereshis? Bara Elokim Eis HaShamayim V'Saretz. Where does it start? The world of Bria. Yesh Me'ayin, something from nothing, is the world of Bria. Atzilus is not. There's no Yeshus. There's nothing. It's Ayin. It's nothing. But a light emanating from the Eibishter. Oid Ein Sof. Just like the Eibishter is Ein Sof, infinite. The light of Atzilus is infinite. Bria is already Yesh Me'ayin. It's something that comes from nothing, but it's already an oilam. It's called Bria, Yesh Me'ayin. But they feel the closeness, So therefore, they're quiet. It's the opposite of oir. Atzilus, which is a lower oilam, it's already not where the neshamas hang out, the malachim hang out there. Oh, over there, it's felt the light. It's like the difference of the Rosh Yeshiva or the Rav, the Rabbi, when he is standing in front of his yeshiva and his congregation, or the Rabbi standing in front of his Rabbi. That's why Yoitzer in a Yitzira, it's Oyer, which is the lower level of Tefillin Shel Yad, when we touch our Tefillin Shel Yad. And when you go up to the world of Bria, it's Choshech. A very important lesson that we learn from this. If you went out to the backyard to do a barbecue, and 300 ants got up on their back legs and started saying, "Wow, Shmulik, no barbecue steak as good as you," you probably wouldn't even notice it. And if you would, you wouldn't feel flattered. But if your wife tells you, "Shmulik, wow, I love it when you make a barbecue. No one makes a barbecue as good as you." Now that's a compliment if it's coming from your wife or your family. That's because those are people, other human beings, and people that are close to you. But if 300 ants will stay singing your praises, that means nothing to you. So what's the difference? What do you mean to the Eibishter? Well, Bria is closer to the Eibishter than Yetzirah. But that question is only a relevant question in a vacuum. But we know that the Eibishter wants, Kadosh Baruch Hu is Mesava L'Matzeim Shel Tzadikim. The Eibishter wants to come close to us. He wants us to understand him. And therefore he made a world of Atzilus, Bria, Yetzirah, so that we could take one step at a time and get closer to him. So therefore it's a mistake to say, oh, to the Eibishter it's all the same. What does Bria know better than Atzilus? It's like the bigger ant and the smaller ant. What does the bigger ant know about my barbecuing than the smaller ant? And what's if I'm sitting in the backyard and I'm playing guitar? What, the bigger ant is going to stand up on his back legs and start dancing? And the smaller ant, what's an afkamina, the bigger ant or the smaller ant? And what's if all 300 ants start dancing around me? Am I flattered? Because they're ants. That make no difference to me. But to the Eibishter does make a difference, Maseim Shal Tzadikim. And therefore, a lot of times we say to ourselves, we're learning Chassidus, trying to understand, Lekutei Torah, Atzilus, Sfiras HaOimer, Even Sapir, lofty things. They're trying to understand that in the Gan Eden. Who am I going to understand it? But that is a question in a vacuum. Because we know that the Eibishter is Chafetz B'Maseim Shal Tzadikim, that's not true. The Eibishter wants us to come close to him. And therefore, when we put in the effort, and we're sitting on a Wednesday night learning Chassidus, we're learning the Pirush HaMilus of birchas Krias, and we're also learning the Pnimius Pshat. We're learning the Pshat and the Soid of the birchas. And tomorrow, B'Shas HaTefillah, we try to focus on this passage, Baruch Ato Hashem, that you're the Eibishter, and the Eibishter is close to me, Ata Lashon, and the Eibishter is Elikeinu, and Melech Ha'olam, the King of the entire world. Yoitzer Orev Choshech. We thank the Eibishter and Pshat for creating dark and light, because we know the Eibishter creates everything. Voides Hakoil, and also Pichsidis, we understand Yoitzer Orev and Choshech, the world of Bria and Yetzirah, and how Bria, even though it's higher, is Choshech. And we put in the full measure of effort, and the Eibishter reveals himself to us as well. Okay, so Mitzvah Hashem, this will be it for Yotzei Orev Choshech, and Mitzvah Hashem next week we will continue. We will do a Mitzvah Hashem Hameir Loretz V'Ladar Maleh. It's a beautiful passage. Betuvim Mechadash B'Chol Yom Tomid Masa Bereishis Maraba Masecha B'Chochmas Isa Mitzvah Hashem Moider Shetzarte Peruch Chasala. This we can do that passage in Mitzvah Hashem next week.
Could be that we learn the prat and a klal. We're starting with the prat, or then another prat choshech. Then it's a vore sakol. but before we say the Bore Sakol, we say an Oishe Sholem. Why don't you say Bore Sakol, Choshech, or, and then Oishe Sholem? The Seder is first the details, or in Choshech, then peace, and after this in Bore Sakol.
Okay, I hear.
Eberster wants to be Oyer, they want to be Choshech, but he wanted to be a Sholem. Today,
Right.
Sholem.
Right.
Once
The
the
Oyer
Sholem,
and the Choshech couldn't be bigger opposites.
then is Zakol. When you have two different people with two different days, but they are Sholem, then is Zakol.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Rabbi Yecheskel Hanavi,
Yeah.
we learn only Nakdishah or we learn the whole?
I mean, on many levels, but Pashas, the Rebbe is saying that Lubavitch Chassidim are screaming about Mashiach because the Rebbe is screaming and he's expecting them to scream. What should they do? The Rebbe is saying scream ad Moshe, they scream ad Moshe. If the scream was with the truth, Mashiach would already be here. What can I do from now? The Eden should scream and bring Mashiach b'poel. Whatever was done till now didn't help. But what's that? I didn't help. It was still in Golus. What's even worse? Begolus Pnimi Binyan Avodas Hashem, and the internal Golus. The whole idea of the Geula is that we're redeemed from in Avodas Hashem. We have a Geula, and we see, unfortunately, that every one of us know where we stand in Avodas Hashem. That we are not yet in a Geula situation. Avodas Hashem. We have unbelievable struggles in Avodas Hashem. So what I can do right now is one thing. To give it over to you. Do tut alles was kennt. Things that are the lights of Toyu in the vessels of Tikkun. That's a very important concept of Chassidus. That in Toyu the lights are very powerful, and therefore they exploded and the vessels shattered and so on. But there is a mila that the lights are very powerful. The Kalim of Tikkun, they get along and it's very nice. Shalom, but the light is not as strong. Chassidus says that the whole trick of the Yemais Mashiach is to get the lights of Toyu to shine into the vessels of Tikkun, and they should not explode and they should coexist. So we should, in other words, we should do with all vigor to bring Mashiach, but in simple language, to stay normal people, to be grounded with 2 feet on the ground, not to start screaming from rooftops and waving flags or things. I'm not trying to say this is this or that or the other. I'm just trying to bring out on a simple level what the Rabbi is saying. That true, the vigor and the bren in us should be that it's urgent. It's urgent. It's like a person needs to go to hospital, Rahman al-Islam, or the Dover Toiv, a person needs to go to a Simcha, and the plane was canceled. He wants to go through Timbuktu. Maybe there's a flight, a connecting flight. He'll go from here to China. From China, he'll go to Miami. He's trying to figure out because he wants to get to the Simcha. How could he get there? So that's the word of Oides the Toyu. The vigor is unbelievable, but Bekalim the Tikkun, to do it in a normal way. Why? So someone's going to say, because otherwise it's not going to work. They're going to say, Mashiach Lubavitch is crazy. Someone else is going to say, but they're saying that anyway, so who cares? So the answer is that the Nakuda of why the Rebbe is saying has to be Oides the Toy, Bekalim the Tikkun, has nothing to do with what they're going to say about Lubavitch, or they're crazy or they're normal. We have to bring Mashiach. Doesn't matter what people think. And we have to do it with unbelievable chayas and not to stop. But the whole inyan of Mashiach Tzidkenu, the whole understanding of what is that Mashiach is going to bring the lights of Toyu into vessels of Tikkun. So the way we get ready for Mashiach has to be a reflection of the whole inyan of Mashiach. The whole inyan of Mashiach is Oides the Toyu Bekalim the Tikkun. So in other words, the Rebbe is saying, not the person going to say we get big speakers in a van and we're going to start dancing on the rooftop, and for sure you'll get a lot of people and we're going to wave flags, but that's not Kalim the Tikkun. It has to be in Kalim, but the vigor is to be out of the Toyu. Lahavi b'poilas Mashiach tzedkenu take it from Yad Mamash. Yirotzen, the Rebbe says, the Eibusha should help. Shesef Kosof Yimotzu, Asodom Yisrael, we should find 10 Jews, Yisachshu, that will have stubbornness. Shemu Chrochim Lifalef Etzla Kadosh Baruch Hu, they have to accomplish by the Eibusha. Bavadi Yiflu Etzla Kadosh Baruch Hu, Kamash Kosof Kam Cheyerev Hu, Lamal Yusa, that they are the nation of the stiff neck in a positive way. And therefore, the Eibusha forgives us, which is the Pashup Pshat, as Moshe Rabbeinu says, they're the nation of the stiff neck, and therefore you should forgive them. So, just because they have a stiff neck, that's why you should forgive them. You should reward bad behavior. Chassidus says, because they have a stiff neck, they are stubborn, and they stand in Golus close to the Eibusha, even though they have a lot of nisyonis, therefore the Eibusha should forgive them. Hove b'poilas Geula mitzvah shlema take Yad Mamash Lamar Lazaret Yoser. It's a pula shli. Oise ve'etin l'kol hachavechem shlichas mitzvah little tzedakah gedel tzedakah makreves Geula. The Rebbe said he's going to give, but the Rebbe, there was a moedeke avoide. The union of tzedakah and shlichas mitzvah. The Rebbe used to give out the dollars. And here shli asisi, I did my part. Makan labot asa es asher be'choltechem, do what you tut alts was you can. Wir rotzen shemotz und kem echad shtaim shlosh shitaksu eitza malasa to have a eitza v'keitzer lasas v'od v'yikir shifel shigula mitzvah shlema v'palmamash take of miyad mamash b'techsim v'chametavlei. Obviously, when the Rebbe said the Sikha was a shock to Chassidim, that the Kilu, the Rebbe saying that, you know, that's it, I'm done. My days with you are but numbered. We came to an end of the journey, and I'm handing over the torch. But I think with the perspective of time, if we think about it today, the message and the point is not chas v'shalom. Rabbi say, I'm out, that's it, I'm passing over the torch. Fakert. And the Rebbe is saying that now I'm giving you the full measure of koyach. The full measure of koyach, that every one of you has the full measure of koyach, and I'm empowering you, just like we're learning now in Tanya and Perek Mem Beis, that there is a connection between the neshama klolos and neshama pratis of Moshe Rabbeinu. So he's telling every chosed that I'm giving you the full measure of power. Remember, there was a kinos hashluchim, and the Baruch Hashem, the kinos hashluchim, for many years already, Beis Menachem Mendel has a full table. And it's a very sweet thing. It's a very sweet thing. We go together as and we bring back the information. We bring back the inspiration. That year, Yehuda Avner, who was a personal secretary to many dignitaries in Israel, friend of Abba Ibn, and so on. He was a secretary to Menachem Begin, and he was many times at Yechidus of the Rebbe. So if you remember, those that were there he was a keynote speaker, and that he said that he was at the Yechidus, at a very long Yechidus by the Rebbe, and he spoke about how the Rebbe's vision was unbelievable, 20/20 vision about what Israel should do, and the messages, halavai, that they listened to the messages of the Rebbe, and so on. Anyway, then the Yechidus, he said to the Rebbe, I'm scared I'm becoming your chassid. And the Rebbe said, you shouldn't be scared. It shouldn't be out of yid. It should be with Ava. And then he told the Rebbe that you're putting my neshama on fire. You're lighting my neshama. The Rebbe said, no, I'm just giving you the matches. But to light the fire, you have to do on your own. So definitely, after 30 years, if we look back at the Sikha, it's not chas v'shalom that the Rebbe passed on the torch, but fakir, the Rebbe wants to give us the matches that we should light the fire, and the Rebbe should help that tonight all of us, our neshama, should be on fire. We should go out in our golas from avodas Hashem. We should have a geula pratis, and therefore we should scream out at Mosai with the emes and the emes lamita. And the truth is that right now all of Klal Yisrael have this feeling with the emes of mamish, of the strongest way, that we want Mashiach Tzidkenu. We don't want just that this thing should finish and life should go back to usual. We want the real thing. We want this to finish, and we want the goal is to finish. Ebe shall helfen that we should have a gula protis and we should have a gula klolos. Mashiach tzidkenu, take it from Yad Mamish.
Amen.
Thank you,
L'chaim,
Rabbi. Thank
l'chaim,
you.
l'chaim.
Chaim.
Ad Mosayad, Mosayad.
Yad Mosayad, 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 Mos. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. No vesen chelkein no vesoyra secha shimon nebesamig dosh mira veyamei no vesen chelkein no vesoyra secha shimon nebesamig dosh mira veyamei no vesen chelkein no vesoyra secha shimon nebesamig dosh mira veyamei no vesen chelkein no vesoyra secha L'chaim, David, L'chaim, Shmulik, L'chaim, Yochanan, L'chaim, Zorach, L'chaim, Mr. Mahena, L'chaim, everyone, Yeshikoyach for joining us tonight. L'chaim, Mr. Azar, the Taki, yes? Yes, and it's L'chaim, Pinchas, Leo, L'chaim, L'chaim, that we should talk that our neshama should be on fire, and it should go over from our neshamas to all the ones around us. L'chaim, L'chaim. You know the word of Chassidus. If you want to go out of a situation which is like Golos, a tough situation, you're in a tough spot in life, how do you do it? B'simcha. B'simcha teitzeyu v'shalom tovaloneh Birchas yiftach lefnei chaverino v'chol atzei asodayim chachov teitzeyu v'shalom tovaloneh Birchas yiftach lefnei chaverino. A gute Nacht.
Yeah. Seth Mehana, how are you? It was nice. Tomo, was nice seeing you today. Regards home and refuah shlema lechol Am Yisrael.